Well, LCS has just started, but I'm joined right now by Santorin with coverage brought to you by Alienware to talk about how things are going for Team Liquid. So this is going to be recorded after the end of the first week, but we might put it out a little later because we're not talking about the games too much this weekend. Santorin, I'm just kind of curious. First off, how's your health? Because that's, I think, what a lot of people are always really concerned about for you.
I've been feeling really good. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't had a bad headache since like pretty much summer finals, right before summer finals. Not in the actual games. It was like kind of a couple days before that. Don't worry, guys. My performance was just absolute shit. It has nothing to do with the health. Since then, I've just been feeling really good. I've been able to practice as much as I want to. I've been doing what I want to do throughout the day. So I've been super excited for this year, and I've also just wanting to kind of give everything I have to Team Liquid because the way they treated me last year was really, really amazing, and I'm so happy to be here one more time.
You say one more time. I think a lot of people are going to read into that. Is this your last
okay, so
year? Is that what you're suggesting?
I did sign a 2-year contract first of all, but it's just re-signing with the team. Sorry, let me.
Gotcha. Okay. I had to ask because otherwise a lot of people would be like, wait, did he say one more time? That sounds so fun.
After spring, I'm gone. So
okay.
It was good while it lasted.
We're not even making it to summer. That's rough. Okay. Okay. So you're back with Team Liquid. You re-signed, and it sounds like you're feeling healthy. Did you guys ever figure out what it was, or is there anything that you've done behavior-wise that you think is like basically solved it?
Yeah. So we still actually don't know what it is, and I still have some ongoing things I need to do. So right now I'm on some medications because they're just things that it's just kind of preventative. So right now I'm actually gonna have even an endoscopy at some point because we don't know if it's a stomach problem, we don't know if it's a head problem, we still don't really know. But whatever I'm on medication wise right now, it is helping. It is helping to the degree where I just feel completely normal. So short term I'm not afraid of anything, but long term being on this medication, that's something down the line that could be something troubling.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's move away from the health stuff and just talk about how the team stuff has been going. You've been reunited with Bjergsen this year. Yeah. What has that experience been like? And are you, do you feel like you're back to being a ward again? I mean, how does this work?
Well, I mean, after our match against 100 Thieves, it kind of felt like it.
Gotcha.
But nah, it's been really nice. If I think about it, it's I've always felt like I wasn't ready when I played with Bjerg back in 2015. I was a rookie that honestly couldn't play a lot of metas. There was a lot of champions that didn't understand how to play tanks, especially. I had no idea how to play them. I didn't have good macro. I just wasn't the player I had to be to play on a star lineup. So I'm really happy getting this opportunity again, where now I feel like I've proven myself as a player, and he's still the GOAT. So many years later. So it's been really nice playing with him again.
Is there anything unique about playing with him again that you kind of remember? Or you're like, oh yeah, this is the way this works, or this is the experience with him. I don't know if you're obviously many years have passed, but maybe it even just feels like slipping back into old things. I don't know.
It kind of feels like slipping back into old things, but also he's always been all about winning and taking as much out of every single game as we can. So he's very his mindset is always what can we do better, all the time. So in reviews, he's always bringing up a lot of good points, and he's just a really well-rounded player and person. So it's been really nice working with him again.
Okay, on the other hand, you have a brand new top laner in Whippo. So what's it like playing with him? Because he seems to be somebody that's sparked a lot of conversation in the LCS this year, just because I don't know, there was that game, I think it was the Dig series, where he just kind of put you on his back or whatever, it brought it. So a lot of conversation about Whippo. What's it been like jungling for him?
I really like it, and I mean, I think the coolest thing is he just started playing top lane again. So that there's so much room for improvement still, and he's already smurfing in LCS. I think the thing I like the most about him is he's very, very aggressive, and he's really good at punishing opponents' mistakes. I think there's a lot of players in this team that are very methodical, and the way you play the game is very much straightforward, the same way most of the games, whereas he's very just in the moment, I'm gonna just go in, I'm gonna fight, I'm gonna do this. And also all his random picks, I think those are the most entertaining for me, because he played Ringa on a stage, he played Pantheon on a stage, we never even played it in scrims. I don't even know if he played it in solo queue. He just has these weird comfort counter picks that people aren't really ready for.
Yeah. So you've been playing with him. I mean, obviously he's just coming off jungling, so I don't know if there's any kind of fun conversations that are sparked because of that, or if you feel like he has, I don't know, maybe it's nice to work with him because he's just had your role.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he actually has a very good mindset about jungling. Like, he understands the jungle really well, and you can, if I were to just like, if I was told he only jungled for like 6 months, I wouldn't believe it, because I actually think, he has a lot of good understanding of like how the role works and what he should do in the game, what I should do in the game, like these kind of things. So it's really easy to work with him because he just understands my role so well. So it's like, if I make X decision, he'll be like, oh, I'm happy he's doing this, even though, I'm pathing away from him or whatever it might be.
There are times where you are playing in a game where, depending on who's in the game right now, but most of the time I think, where you're playing with 4 guys that you did not play with last year. So does it feel like a brand new team? Like, is in some ways, like, you're the only guy that's still around unless Core's in, right? So
That's true. And honestly, that's kind of shocking to me, because when I'm playing the game, I don't feel like these guys new. Like, I don't know, I already feel like we're, a team, and I already feel really comfortable with all of them. And I think Team Liquid and all the players have just done a really good job of like getting on the same page very quickly and like having a lot of conversations with each other. But I will say though, not playing with Cole, that's, Ayla has been playing really well. Like, don't get me wrong. I just think Cole is just like such an amazing player where, I can kind of feel when he's not in the game, because I think like what worked really well last year for us was the way me and Cole played together. So I'm really excited to get the full roster. Even though I don't want to discredit Ayla in any way. Like, he's been playing absolutely amazing, and I'd be shocked if he's not in LCS sometime soon.
yeah, no, I mean, definitely, I think a lot of people have been excited to see Ayla play, but a lot of people also hoping for Core to be in soon. Who's like leading the team? Because there was a kind of this impression, I think, in the past that like Core was in some ways like the team captain. I don't know if that was ever true, but that's kind of the community perception, is that like Core is probably making a lot of the calls and having a lot of the high level decision making. So is there, one, is that ever true? And two, like, if that is the case, like, where's a lot of the team decision making being made these days?
I mean, definitely, especially last year, I think Cole was a huge part of the decision making. I mean, I think also when he comes back now, he'll be a huge part of it. I'd probably say Cole will probably be the one making the most calls. But that being said, like, I think it's like, maybe it's like 20, 30, 40. Like, it's not like he's doing like 80 or 90%. It's like, everyone will chip in, like whether it's Hans, me, Bjerg, Cole, Ayla, like everyone has times where they'll chip in. I just think in general, Cole just has like a really, really good mindset about the game, and he's very on top of what we need to do in the game, and he's always like kind of ahead of a lot of different players. So he's always like the one being very vocal to begin with in the game. And I think the way me and Cole think about the game is very similar. So usually I'll always just be agreeing with him, because what he's saying is what I would want to do as well.
Yeah, no, I can imagine it'll be good to have him back for those reasons.
Oh yeah.
What about the other LCS teams? Because obviously, I know you probably haven't had a chance to play against all of them yet, because even in Scrims, because Lock-In was playing with a bunch of non-LCS starters. But are there any LCS teams right now that are very interesting to you, that you think are big rivals to you potentially and your success? I don't know.
Rivals and success, I think the teams I'm looking at the most are probably EG and 100 Thieves. I mean, 100 Thieves got knocked out pretty early in Lock-In, but that doesn't mean they're not a good team. So I'm sure they'll be a big rival to us again, just like last year. And then like T79 are really hard for me, because a part of me is like, if this team actually comes together properly, they could be really, really good. But then I also think about like language barrier, like all these kind of things, because I mean, there's a lot of Koreans and Chinese players on these rosters, and I've been a part of a lot of these rosters in my past, and some of them are just straight up terrible just because of the language barrier. But if you can actually like find a system that works, then you can also be a really good team. Because I mean, for example, for the Cloud9 players, the ones they're bringing in, they're really good players. Like, if you're watching them mechanically or like individually, they're doing really good stuff. And I think if it's like what team is most interesting, I'd say Cloud9, because they also have Ellis, so they have a very interesting way of drafting. And honestly, I've been very excited for every single Cloud9 game, because I'm just excited to see what they draft. I don't really care about the play. I just want to see the draft, and like because I think that's like innovative and new strategies that might throw teams off. And I also think that's like an easy way to get wins, because if the enemy doesn't know what you're doing, like they might make mistakes. So that's kind of what we've been seeing.
Does that make them scary to play against?
I definitely think so. I mean, I have no idea what they're gonna bring out, right? Like maybe it's Kappa's top next game. Like you have no idea what they're gonna do, and I think that is kind of like the X factor in draft and like just in general. Like it's something you have to be very careful of.
Yeah. How does that work out in scrims? Because I would assume that potentially that makes you guys really want to scrim them because you don't know, like maybe if they're running Ivor and mid and scrims or something like that, you're like, oh, this is really good, and then you can kind of get ahead of it and you guys can maybe pull it out or something. Like, I don't know if there's a sense that they're a great scrim partner because you get to learn stuff, or maybe they're not a great scrim partner because they're just spinning a wheel to see what they're going to play, and you're like, this is not what we need. I'm curious how that works for you guys.
So actually, we haven't gotten to scrim them with the full roster yet. So I actually don't have the experience. But as you said, I think those are the two things that could happen. Either we can get a lot of good stuff out of it, or we could be like, we just wasted like 5 hours for literally nothing,
Right.
So I think it can go both ways. In general, I've always been a fan of scrimming teams that play different, because I think, I can watch like 100 LCK games about like the same drafts that we're playing right now. So I'd prefer understanding what other drafts can look like and how they can play team comps out. So I would like to play against Cloud9 and scrims and stuff like that, but I think we might be playing them next week, so gotta wait a little longer.
Yes, and again, as we record this,
maybe later down the line.
Yeah, we'll know by now when this releases, if it releases out next week. Either way, thank you so much, Santorin, for the interview. Is there anything you would like to say to any of the fans out there?
I mean, I'm just very excited for this year. I think last year we did some good things, but there's also a lot of bad moments. And as a fan, I'd be, kind of frustrated going through that because there's a lot of weird stuff going on in the TL camp. So I'm hoping this year is just like we can just, I really want to win some LCS trophies, not lock-in only. And I'm just excited to like give Team Liquid everything I got because I couldn't do that last year.
Yeah. Well, looking forward to seeing you guys continue to play and grow, and hopefully Core is back in soon, and we can all enjoy the fully powered Team Liquid team. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things LCS right here on my YouTube channel. Well, LCS has officially kicked off, and I know what you're concerned about, and that's just performance. How will North America perform? It's all about perform. Well, listen, I can tell you one great way to get an amazing performance, and that's with an Alienware computer. Yes, you can get the new Auroras available on alienware.com/Travis, or why don't you get a great notebook from them, maybe an M15 or X17 at alienware.com/Travis. They have great performance as well. And so who cares about how we perform this year when you've got the performance you need from Alienware?